Legend goes that Sarah was deeply affected by the deaths of her daughter Annie in 1866 to a disease that I don't know and have never fucking heard of, and her husband William, who died of more famously tuberculosis.
Rated E for everything.
Hey y'all, we're back
We back with
with a brand new episode of Rated E for Everything.
I was gonna take yours, but I just felt like it was bad. So it's the
Oh, go ahead.
podcast where we talk a little about a lot, and it's spooky season still.
It is still spooky season. When have we ever done 2 in a row? Never, but I guess here we are.
Have we not done tuner? I don't
No,
believe
never.
that.
It's never happened one fucking time. One singular spooky season that the podcast has also simultaneously existed. It's only ever been one.
Well, we're extra special this year.
Lovely. I hope
Aren't you
guys
so
enjoy.
happy about it?
Oh, can't you tell I'm elated?
Carl hates spooky season and everything about it, even though it's his birthday. I mean, not today, but during spooky season.
Yeah, that's kind of part of the reason too.
That you hate spooky season?
Yeah.
Why? Because it takes over your birthday?
No, because it is my birthday, dog. Fuck that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It like
Jesus.
takes over your birthday. Like people pay attention to that instead of your birthday.
Oh no, it's like it gets associated with it, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't know. Like, don't think about my birthday at all.
I have another friend whose birthday is on October 31st, and he is like the epitome of horror Halloween kid. So it makes sense. And then I think
It's the
about you, and
opposite.
I'm like, what happened?
The opposite. The opposite happened.
Yeah, really.
Oh man. Just run it, Cammy game, you know?
Yeah. Let's just do a Cammy game. Yeah, all right.
In 3, 2, 1, blinds.
Controller.
Mm.
Controller and blinds.
It's a reach, but I'm gonna stick with what I thought of first. So I'm good whenever you are.
Yeah, I'm ready, I think.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, night.
Automatic. Oh.
Okay.
Night and automatic. Oh no, this is tough. You might dislike me for this one.
Okay. I have one too.
All right.
In 3, 2, 1,
Light.
cycle.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Wait, okay. Light and cycle.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
In 3, 2, 1,
Sun.
photosynthesis. Oh.
Wow, that is actually really good, but I was just going for the
Sorry.
simple one.
My bad. My bad.
The light
Photosynthesis
cycle
literally
is photosynthesis.
Yes,
You're right.
yes,
I really dropped the
yes.
ball, but I was just going for like the simple, like the sun.
My bad. I was like, photosynthesis is the
The
sun
light cycle.
process, the light cycle. It's that. That's it. I
It
did
is
it. Wow.
the process of the sun, and we were both technically right. Yours
We're
was
right
just
there.
more
God.
right.
Damn. That's happened a few times now. I'm obsessed with that. So obsessed with it.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm not. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Okay. I asked Carl if he wanted to do another spooky episode. He very willingly and very excitedly, no, he didn't. Said
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
And I asked, I was like, what do you want to do? Do you want to do like a certain case, like a certain murderer, like since what do you want to do? And he said he wanted to do a case that had both. And I was like, cool, that's like one. And that would be Amityville, which I'm glad we didn't do because I cannot say. And I was like,
Amityville.
yes, thank you. That.
You're welcome.
Everyone has done that and everyone knows of it. So I was like, we could do that. And he was like, I don't know. And so I asked Hannah, who's the expert, and she brought up the Winchester house. And I was like, I don't know anything about it. So I shot it Carl's way and I was like, take a look into this. It's super famous. Let me know what you think, because I was busy. And clearly Carl's never busy.
Never. I am always free.
Yes.
Constantly.
And he shot back to me. He's like, yeah, we can do this, I guess, but like nothing about this is confirmed. And I was like, what? but it's so famous. And like Hannah said, it's her favorite case. So like, I'm confused. So then I did my own research. Carl did a deep dive into it, and we're just gonna talk about it and figure out what we believe.
Yes, indeedio. I would love if I opened right here to give some background to everybody, with this small overview I found in a CNBC article, that
Okay.
is listing the top 10 most haunted houses, or America's most haunted houses. So the Winchester house is number one, which kind of shook me again, considering like what we already did an episode on, that one in New Orleans, like with the woman who fucking literally murdered her slaves, which is, I was like, how is that not the biggest one? Because there's
Right.
like so many confirmed sightings, and like Nicolas Cage on the fucking house, like hello, and it's like super famous. Like, I don't know, but I mean, this is apparently number one, and supposedly it's the most haunted, which is shocking to me because no, like, we know what, we're good.
This is gonna be fun, I think.
Location: San Jose, California. The owner: Sarah Winchester. As one of the two homes in California sanctioned by the U.S. Commerce Department as being haunted, the other the Whaley House, the Winchester House stands alone as perhaps the most bizarre haunted home in the United States. It was inspired and designed by Sarah Winchester, widow of William Winchester, founder of Winchester Rifles. Technically not right, it was his dad.
True.
Legend goes that Sarah was deeply affected by the deaths of her daughter Annie in 1866 to a disease that I don't know and have never fucking heard of, and her husband William, who died of more famously tuberculosis in 1881. Sarah supposedly, it doesn't say supposedly, it says confirmed. Sarah consulted a medium who instructed her to build a house to ward off evil spirits. Construction on the Winchester house started in 1884 and continued for 38 years until Sarah's death in 1922. Sarah reportedly held nightly seances to gain guidance from spirits and her dead husband for the home's design. Last paragraph,
This
almost done. What resulted was a maze-like residence full of twisting and turning hallways, dead ends, secret panels, a window built into a staircase, staircases leading to nowhere, doors that open to walls, upside down columns, whoa, columns upside down, and rooms built, then intentionally closed off, all to ward off and confuse evil spirits. Can columns be upside down? I figured that was just something.
Absolutely.
I figured that was just something that you could just kind of rotate and it would be normal and fine. Didn't think
No,
that
don't
had a
you know?
directional
God,
like
Carl, you're not a
effect on
columns
things.
expert. They're just spinning in their graves right now. They're so upset with you, the architects. Okay. So, I basically have most of the same thing. Just to elaborate on your grand entrance. It's called the Winchester Mystery House, quote unquote, the Spirit House. I also have that it is one of the most haunted places in America. In San Jose, California. It became a national landmark, which means it has to stay up forever unless California swallows it whole during an earthquake, which is very possible.
Yeah, it
Or
almost
fire.
already happened.
Yes.
Spoiler.
Yes, spoiler alert. So the Winchester repeating rifle, the Winchester family. You've all seen it. You've all know. Well, maybe not. Maybe we're just American.
Real.
The
Really, really real.
Winchester rifle was the first repeating rifle of its time that was somewhere near the Civil War era. So there's Winchester still today. You guys know it. The little toy that used to like you would pull down the handle, pull it up and click the trigger, like that's how you reloaded. That was the first of its kind, and it was the first that was able to shoot 15 rounds in a row instead of, the good old shoot one, reload, your powder and shit. So it
God, I
was
fucking
game
love a lever
changing.
action.
So it was game changing for sure. So it's that family. Carl's right. The dad, which I don't know his name, was the founder, and then William was the treasurer of the company. I put a note in there that says, please look up picture of William dumbass mustache. So if you could do that for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually already have his picture up. Don't worry.
Beautiful.
It's not terrible. It's just
It's
not great.
terrible.
It's certainly not great.
That is
It's
terrible.
it could be better. It's very long and wispy. He's got the worst form of mutton chops I've ever seen.
It's
like
disgusting. You know
like
how
just
people
shave
like
that.
sometimes get a beard to cover their weird chin? He got a beard and then shaved out his weird chin to show
Yeah.
everyone.
Yes, he did. Cause why is that like the only part of his face that isn't shaved?
I don't know.
I
He would
don't
have been
understand.
like decently looking handsome if he didn't have the weird squirrel on his face.
Had he either removed the beard entirely or simply committed to the bit. This is
Yeah.
not like this is somewhere in between and it is not the move for sure.
This is the scary part.
Low key, that's as scary as it's gonna get.
Oh, maybe. The wife is Sarah Winchester, who's our main character, if you will.
Sally.
They Sally.
Yeah, like I read like on a lot of places that her like nickname was Sally.
Oh, I didn't see that at all.
Oh,
Just
I'm dead.
just Sarah or Mrs. Winchester. You guys
Oh
are
yeah.
clearly tight with her, homies.
Me and Sally are good friends.
Yeah. Okay, so they met and started everything in New Haven, Connecticut. So we're on the East Coast. The daughter died, as Carl said, of who knows what.
Oh, I could tell you. I don't know what the fuck it is though. Shit's crazy. It's called marasmus. Marasmus. She had marasmus. Oh, here we go. A form of severe malnutrition characterized by energy deficiency. It can occur in anyone with severe malnutrition, but usually occurs in children.
So she was just malnourished from birth?
I guess.
That's sad.
Marasmus occurrence increases prior to age 1.
Mm-hmm. She was
Whereas
only a few weeks old.
yeah, she only lived not long. Protein deficiency. I don't know what this word means. Whereas kwashiorkor
Yeah.
kwashiorkor is a
Mhm.
form of severe protein malnutrition characterized by edema and an enlarged liver with fatty infiltrates. So she was basically like didn't have like her body didn't have enough to eat or like I don't know, fucking cannibalize itself kind of. I don't know. It doesn't sound great.
No, it doesn't. So the story goes that Sarah spirals after that, but
Wait, can I
then
pause you?
yeah, of
Oh,
course,
oh,
always
because if you were gonna keep going, it gets way worse. Yeah,
with
go
the
ahead
kid.
then.
In
No, like more.
1881, William
Mm-hmm.
dies. I wrote him
Yep.
down as Will because his name was too long, so now he's Will.
Yeah.
And his father dies, so the only people
Mm-hmm.
she's been living with, within a week of each other. So
Yep.
anyone that she's associated or been around is now dead.
Um.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna add insult to injury because that wasn't enough for me. So yeah, the baby dies, and then in 18 like if you want the chronological order, it's her dad who goes next in 1869 from rheumatoid arthritis. Then her mom in May of 1880. Then her father-in-law in December, and then fucking tuberculosis took William later that year as well. And she was just like, goodbye, I'm done. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
how could you handle that? The death of your child, your husband, your fucking dad, and your like your stepfather
Right.
and your mom. Hello, in the span of
a couple years.
10 years, about like
It's not
11 years.
I would spiral too.
Yeah, seriously.
We'll go with facts first. So she inherits the chunks of both her father-in-law and her husband's part of the company, which is over 50% of it. And she ends up inheriting a lump sum of $20 million then, which is equivalent to over $500 million now.
Mm.
And then after that, had some investments with that money, and then begins to make over $1,000 a day, which is about $25,000 a day now.
Yeah.
Here's where we split off in two different directions. I don't know what you want to talk about first. Do you want me to go over what the supposed hauntings are in the story? Do you want to go over what you think it is? Do you want to go over what you've pulled up? What are you thinking?
I mean, I like really like almost everything I've seen. Like, there are some ideas, but like a lot of like what I have found is like people like talking about how like either what they already said is like fucking bullshit entirely, or like is maybe real but highly unlikely.
I have a little bit of both, like what people say is now true, and then what the story was. I have a bit of
Okay.
both. So
Um Yeah, I mean, I think that what the story is what is like she went to see a um what
Medium.
did I say? A medium. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's famously quoted as being some other fucker who actually doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Henry. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. Adam
At Adam
Coons. Adam
Coons, yeah.
Coons. Yeah, so what I found here. Winchester visited a medium in Boston named Adam Coons, who told her that she and her family were being haunted by the ghosts of people killed by Winchester rifles. Ooh, and that she must construct a house for these ghosts, and that means she must never complete the project. This assertion of Winchester meeting with a medium has been repeated in brochures and articles and everything else ever since. But according to Ignafo, which was somebody else who I'm getting a lot of other information from, who wrote about Sarah Winchester's actual life and like
Mm-hmm.
interviewed people who like either were related to her servants or like her actual servants if they were still alive. I don't know when the book came out. Anyway, I'm going to reference this person a lot. That's why I'm prefacing this. While
Yeah.
it is plausible that Winchester did meet with a psychic medium, since it was a common practice for women of her status at the time, there is no evidence that she did so. And then someone else, a scholar, looked through issues of Banner of Light, which was a spiritual periodical, I don't know what the fuck that says, and then Boston City
Ah,
directories, which listed spiritualists in the area, and no one named Adam Coons was ever found. Ever. No, he didn't even exist.
yeah, so I've pretty much the same thing. Adam Coons, who also just went by the Boston Medium, who is thus far unidentified.
Yeah.
So, um, I don't know. So I'm gonna poke at both sides here just because that's what I do best. But if everyone you knew died within a few years, wouldn't you also kind of think that something was cursed or attached to you and go seek help?
Um, I don't think that's where my mind would go right away because it happened over the span of such a long period of time.
I
10
am
years,
gonna tell you right now, 10 years to lose everyone you love is not very long.
I mean, still like that. I don't know. I guess it was like the beginning and the end is where it all happened, and everything in the middle was like nothing. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like if everyone you loved or talked to died around you, you'd start questioning some things.
But here's like my like if I were in her shoes, like here's my I think the biggest problem with the Winchester like idea that she built it because of all these ghosts of people killed by Winchester rivals.
I'm not
She
even
would
getting to
not
that yet. I'm not even
wait.
getting that. I'm not
Oh,
even getting to that. I'm just saying, wouldn't you think, like, if that started happening, that in that time period, you would believe that you might be cursed or something is wrong? Like, there was
maybe. Like
punishment
I
with
don't
all
know,
your family.
maybe. Like I really I don't know.
I'm not saying,
I feel
like,
like even now like that wouldn't be like
it's
my first
proof.
fucking go to like at all.
Well, now it's different. I mean, like you just read, that was common practice for someone in that time period with that wealth status,
um
plus the fact that she was grieving and probably looking for answers from the afterlife.
I also personally, I think that when like it seems like there's like a curse on someone's family, the deaths that occur are a bit more nefarious. This just seemed like regular ass 1800s ass deaths for all these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
TB, malnutrition, arthritis, like what the fuck? Like this is normal ass shit that people die of. Like
it
it's
is.
not it's
It's
not weird.
logical. It's logical, but logical doesn't fucking matter when everyone you love dies.
I'm just saying.
No, I am. I again, I don't have a opinion on this.
Okay.
I'm going to play both sides as hard as I can, though.
Okay.
I mean, it is logical deaths. You're right. It is very common. Well, except for the baby, it's very common things that happen in that
Yeah.
time period. But when you're surrounded by people you love and they all die in a short time period, you're gonna start being like, what the fuck is going on here, life?
Yeah.
You might seek some weird answers because everyone else is probably gonna tell you it's logical. It was bound to happen. It's common, and you're like, no, like everyone's dead. I just feel like I understand that she probably could have gone to see a medium
She
with
had her
that logic.
sisters. They moved to California with her, so she still had homies. So
So that's also in question because I have one sister moved in and immediately moved out, and I have another article that says it was her niece.
I just saw that she like urged them to like follow her to California, not live with her, but like move there too, and they did.
I see. I have one that says her sister was already in California, and that's why she chose to go over there.
Oh, okay.
So there are no confirmed facts here.
Oh, but her sister did actually die too.
See, I was requesting some shit
Oh
too.
wait. Here we go. In 1884, so the year of like supposed construction on the house, Mary Converse, Winchester's or Sarah's eldest sister, died of cancer, and it convinced Winchester sisters that they should move. That convinced them that they should all move to California. So Winchester paid for her sister Isabel Belle Merriam and Estelle Gerard and their children's move. Another sister, Nettie Sprague, also moved to California as her husband Homer Sprague became president of a college for young women in the San Francisco area. Winchester supported her relatives financially for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You make 25K a day.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
a half a salary a day.
Her
Um,
inheritance shit is crazy. That 20 million I don't think is like exactly right. I think that's a little embellished
I've
based
also
on
seen 3 different types for that, and this was the
yeah.
closest like normal today calculator I could find.
Hold on. Let me see. Claims of Winchester inheriting as much as 20 million and earning $1,000 per day in royalties from her inheritance can be found in tourist literature purchased at the Winchester Mystery House. Then this person who wrote the book states that her husband's estate in 1881 was valued at $392,330, which is equal to 10 fucking million $987,345 today. So like almost 11 million.
Yeah.
And this amount included her husband's approximately $300,000 worth of stock that she would inherit when her mother-in-law died, which did not happen until 1898. So she didn't live much long after that. Maybe another. Oh, I guess she did live a bit.
The
And
point
then
is she had enough
yeah, it
money
was
to do
crazy.
construction for like 38 years.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, she had this was crazy to me. For some reason, this is like what really solidified it. She owned a total of 77 shares valuing $77,000, which paid average dividends of $77,000 or $7,700 annually between 1880 and 1885. So she was getting fucking 7K in the bank, which to them was probably like fucking Jesus. Could you imagine
and
that fucking
that
amount?
was just like passive income that didn't
Yeah.
you didn't have to touch.
Oh my God.
So I think the way we should do this is talk about the ghost story version, and then
Go
let's
ahead.
talk about how it could not be real or everything that it actually could have been instead.
Yeah.
And we'll let you guys decide because to me, both have like an even split. I'm going to spoiler alert you right now and say that nothing haunted happened while she was there.
Yeah. And that's I think what really like got me is like I would have expected there to either be like workers going missing or like people seeing shit or like creepy shit happening or like
Well, there was from some workers, but it was after she died.
yeah.
I would like to add again, please remember that I don't have an opinion. I just like to poke the bear. If you were going that route and I was playing the other side, which for the foreseeable future I'm going to,
Uh-huh.
she was doing her job to appease said spirits, so there shouldn't have been any hauntings or things going missing at
I
that time.
guess. Yeah.
She was very diligently doing her job.
But
So, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I'm good.
So the story goes that obviously after all of this loss, she was extremely depressed, went and met with the Boston medium, who we for now don't know actually existed. Because she was beginning to feel like something was cursed in her life. He says, "Yeah, you're right, your family is cursed," which first red flag to me. Don't tell the medium what you're looking
Yeah,
for.
no, exactly. I feel like that's an easy like fucking oh, you think you're cursed? Yep. Fucking done deal.
You nailed it.
Yep. It's good.
My second thing is, well, let me. Okay, he says that she's going to end up being haunted by everyone that was ever killed with a Winchester rifle,
Yeah.
including natives, Civil War
Mm-hmm.
soldiers, and then anyone else who just happened to die by Winchester rifle.
Yep.
It's just a lot of fucking people. It's a
Yep.
lot of spirits. So my thought was maybe someone this guy knew, if he existed, died because of a Winchester rifle. And he was
Okay.
like, "Yeah, come here, let me ruin the rest of your life."
See, and I had a bit more nefarious thought, which is that she was probably I'm gonna assume that she probably gave her government name to this man. And are you kidding me? That in my head, if I'm a fucking con artist or at least someone who's pretending to be a medium, that's easy money right there. Are you fucking
Oh
kidding me?
yeah.
I just boom, like it's done. You just fucking did my job for me. Like I don't
Yeah.
need to do anything else. All you had to do was say, "I think I'm cursed. My name is Sarah Winchester." Okay, it's good. I got it
Let
all.
me write up the story for you.
Yeah, exactly. Let me cook it up really fast.
So this medium tells her that she needs to move out west and build a house for these spirits for them to be peaceful. So all of these hundreds of spirits she's supposed to build a house for out west, which seems oddly specific.
Yep.
So she listens and she goes out there in 1884 and buys an 8-bedroom farmhouse that's on 6 acres. She starts construction. As far as I know, it's pretty much immediate. She starts
Oh yeah.
construction, which, I mean, I guess if you move into a new house in general, you're going to construct. So maybe that's not that weird. So she starts and does not end until she dies, which is 38 years of nonstop round the clock construction. And I mean around the clock, like people there all the time. So much so that her staff, which weren't servants by the way, they were doubly paid.
Yeah.
Her staff lived in with her.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I guess I don't know what the fuck they were called. Like, is servants not the right thing? Like, I wasn't like trying to like demean them. Like, I just like,
Just employees. They were just
I guess, yeah.
workers.
I mean, yeah, she wasn't like mean or anything. Like, I remember like reading a newspaper or clipping talking about how she like was trying to put in a skylight, but like she couldn't, and then like she wanted the workers to have like the winter off. So like she wasn't like by any way like working them to death, but she was definitely working the shit out of them for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And she had a lot of health issues, which is why I think she had live-in employees too, which is also part of the reason of some of the weird construction.
Yes, exactly. So we're just gonna go over. It started as an 8-bedroom house on 6 acres. It became a 6-acre house on 6 acres. Maybe she got more land. It was 24,000, not 2,400, 24,000 square feet with 7 floors, over about 160 rooms, over 10,000 windows, 52 skylights, 47 fireplaces, 40 staircases, 3 elevators, which hardly existed at the time,
Yep.
6 kitchens. Let me flip the page on what she had. 2 separate basements, and in all that time, because it was very uncommon, she had a shower built specifically for her, and 40 plus bedrooms. So there was, at the time of her death, they found 160 rooms, which at one point had been around 800 rooms, but she demolished so many and made them bigger or combined them that it
Yeah.
ended at about 160. And just recently in 2017, they found an additional, so it's now 161. They found a hidden room, and when they opened it, because they had to go through, I don't know, concrete maybe, the
Oh,
only thing in the room was one old Victorian couch with an antique doll staring at the door.
oh, nah.
Yeah. And to paint the house took 20,000 gallons of paint.
Jesus.
Yeah, 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 yeah. As the story goes, she was so obsessed with confusing the spirits that were going to be housed in this new home that she created a very strange architectural layout, changed it constantly, and did a lot of things herself that were quite odd. The first being that in the 40 bedrooms, she would pick a different bedroom to sleep in every night, which is strange behavior, whether you're hiding from ghosts or not.
Yep.
And then she built a bunch of ways to quote unquote trick the ghosts so that she would not be found unless she wanted to be found. That includes trapdoors, false passageways, being like hallways that led into brick walls or walled up things. Stairs that led up to the ceiling, stairs that led directly into other walls, doors that led to brick walls, doors that led to nowhere, doors that would open to 12-foot drops, 4-story drops, windows that would look into like hallways that had nothing, skylights in the floor or between floors so she could look down into other floors. There would be posts, so like the little knobs on the end of like a railing, like a staircase or a railing, you know what I'm talking about?
Okay, yeah.
Those would be put in upside down,
Oh,
or they would be coming out of the walls for no reason.
what the fuck?
She had chimneys that would go through 4 floors but weren't tall enough to go out the roof.
Oh,
She had several chimneys that just stopped. They never finished construction or just stopped in mid
so
floors.
weird.
And she had a seance room so that she could communicate with the ghost and ask if she was doing well enough, ask what else they needed, or try and communicate with her husband. She also had a grand ballroom upstairs, which was very uncommon.
Yeah.
So she had caretakers that stayed with her for a lot of them for the whole time of construction, a lot for like 20 plus years that she took care of. In 1906, there was an earthquake that trapped her in one of her 40 bedrooms. And she took it as a sign, according to this story, that she was taking too much time focusing and decorating on certain parts of the house and not spending enough time on building things. So she sealed up that entire section of the house. And that's where they actually found the new room, was behind one of those seals.
Okay.
And then she ended up moving away, and she visited the house every day after that, even though she did not live in the house. She stayed out of the house for about 16 years, but visited every day. And she would just start giving new jobs of construction. So
Yeah.
she would have them paint everything, including furniture in a room, all red, and then come back the next day and be like, good job, now make it all white. Just so there was continual
Yeah.
construction. She would build rooms just for them to tear it down. In 1922, she died at 83. So she did a pretty good job if there were ghosts and curses of keeping them away.
Yeah.
And it said that construction ended almost at the very moment that she died, because they got a phone call to the house, and everyone who was working there like knew the deal. Like, we're doing construction until she dies. And as soon as she died, they ended construction of what they're calling mid-swing. So there's unfinished nails being put into the walls and unfinished walls and stuff like that still in the house.
Yeah. That's crazy.
When she died, they took out all the furniture because it was in her will to one of her nieces.
Mhm.
And it took 8 truckloads a day for 6 weeks because there was
That's
so much in
awesome.
the house. That's insane.
Yeah.
10 years later, new people bought it and made it a landmark and opened it to the public, and that's where we started hearing the stories. One of the things that is like the most peculiar is that apparently she was obsessed or had a weird thing about the number 13, and in so
Mhm.
much that she liked it instead of where most people stay away.
Yeah.
She had an entrance hall that was divided into 13 sections. A lot of the
Mhm.
staircases were 13 steps, which is actually common. 13 window panes, wall panels had 13 per room. Her 13th bathroom had 13 everything in it. Like, everything in there was 13 down to the drain holes.
Yeah.
Banisters had 13 railings in them. There was 13 candles on chandeliers that came stock with 12. They found out that she would add a 13th onto them. And her seance room had 13 hooks for 13 different robes for her 13-day cycle of her seance outfits. And she died with 13 sections to her will and signed it 13 times.
Nice.
Which, again, these are very weird things if this could all be
Yeah.
explained away. There is a theory that people were looking for 13s in the house just to add them to a stats thing to make it
That's
more.
actually what I was gonna say, is like I found some, like I could there's some, so I didn't know like all about the stuff about her will. Like I knew she liked it, but according to one of the carpenters who worked on the house, some of the items, like the bedroom, 13 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, and 13 windows in certain rooms, and like other irregular features which have made the house a world famed oddity, were built after Mrs. Winchester's death. And the first time this apparent superstition appeared was in an article printed in 1929, so 7 years after she died.
Yeah.
Subsequently, it's been like mentioned in almost every article like talking about her.
Yeah, it does seem weird, but it also seems like they latched on and made it weirder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's the paranormal things, although I know you said you found that nothing happened in the house.
I mean, I have some things, but like nothing that like I am like by any means like, whoa, that's fucking scary.
No, it seems like little things. But I feel like anytime you mark something as haunted, you're gonna be looking for stuff too.
That's exactly my problem.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. But it is, all of these things have been reported multiple times by different people. I don't know
Mm.
if that helps at all.
I mean, no, that's
Um
what I have too.
So a lot of these reports come from workers in the house that were there after she passed. So there's nothing reported while she passed. But there
Mm-hmm.
is also articles saying that she said weird stuff would go on, but would never report it because she would fear it would get worse.
Okay.
So they're workers, people on tour, stuff like that. Something that is extremely common, where apparently even if you like call and talk to the workers, they will tell you that it happens quite often. It's like a health risk. Is that there is temporary blindness during tours where people would be like, "Why did you shut off the lights?" And they're like, "We didn't."
What?
Yeah, and that is common enough where like they like will give disclaimers like, "Yeah, that might happen. It's normal. It's fine."
What the fuck? No.
Icy chills that isn't like you're passing a cold spot. It's like it's clung onto you and following you.
Yeah.
People have left the house with handprints on their arms.
Ooh.
A lot of people have reported hearing an organ played, which is something Sarah Sally did because of her
Mm-hmm.
arthritis. She tried to relieve it by playing organ.
Yeah.
People hear it throughout the house, even though there's no longer organs in there that are working.
Mm.
The common moving lights. One that was kind of weird to me is that upon entering her favorite bedroom, one of the 40 was her favorite, I guess. It's the room she died in, actually,
Oh,
which
that's crazy.
makes no sense to me because I thought she moved out, but whatever.
Yeah.
People would report seeing red flashes of light that went through the whole room.
Oh, that's super weird too.
Yeah, and then in 1975, they went in her seance room, which again, bad idea, people. What are you doing? And they conducted their own seance to see what was going on in the house. And this was Jean Borgian, and she brought reporters with her because she knew people would be skeptical. So they brought reporters, and one reporter who apparently according to this was a skeptic, quoted saying, "Borgen's face aged in front of my eyes, her forehead creased, and there was deep age lines in her face. Her hair grayed. She experienced a staggering pain and was unable to walk. Right before she passed out, she screamed, 'Help me, someone get me out of here.'"
Wow.
Yeah, and then she passed
Um,
out.
that's crazy because everything that I found on the seances was like it was all conjecture, and that
Yeah.
it might not even be true. So this is what I'm going to read now. Winchester staff who spent every day with her stated she had no interest in seances and that there is no record of them being held in the house. Nevertheless, a false urban legend has arisen claiming she held nightly seances in the blue room or in a closet by herself from midnight until 2 in the morning, talking to ghosts about what construction should be accomplished the following day. In addition to the lack of records found about seances at the villa, the closet seances were unlikely given that they were usually social events and not done by individuals, and records show that the blue room was actually the gardener's bedroom.
One of those things was weird to me is that you said that they were done by groups or parties. Didn't you say she went in a closet and then had groups in there?
Yeah, that's what it says. They were unlikely because it like I don't know what the fuck that means. Like I guess they were just doing that shit back in the day for fun. Like that they were usually the closet seances were unlikely given that like seances were usually done at social events and not done by themselves in the closet, I think is what that was trying to say.
Mm,
I think is more so what it was
that
trying to
makes
convey.
more sense.
Just
Um,
word phrased very strangely.
so this it wasn't her. It was someone else who came after to try to have a séance. So I don't know. Again, I have no idea.
Yeah. I'm just
Um,
saying, like, it doesn't seem like anything is like confirmed at all.
yeah.
Like
So
that's
so that's saying that she never did séances and there was no séance room. It was just a room.
yeah.
But everything else on the other end is saying that she specifically had a séance room that she would go into
Mm-hmm.
and bring her specific séance robes.
Yeah, because I found a lot of things saying like, oh, she definitely did the seances. She was talking with them constantly, and then like a lot of people also saying like, whoa, she might not have. It's not really, we're not really sure. Don't really
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And
Um
yeah, even like the music as well. Like, she played the. I remember people talked about hearing it while she was alive. And
well
that was
that
like,
just
well,
makes
yeah,
sense.
exactly. Like, hello, like, what the fuck do you mean? Like,
This is the ones that I have is during tours.
okay,
Other things that happened is employees would hear their name when they were locking up for the night.
mm-hmm.
This one is interesting to me. The six kitchens sometimes would randomly smell of soup and have hot spots in them where ovens used to
Yeah,
be but no longer existed.
yeah, I saw that too. I read that as well.
There's a lot of times where caretakers would lock up for the night and then go back to double check because they had a security loop because of the house being
Yeah.
so famous.
Sure.
And they would come back to doors unlocked and completely open.
Strange.
One paranormal team that visited, this is way after death, had been hanging out for a while, and then this one investigator, I didn't write down his name, that's my bad, heard the sound of like a squeaking for about 5
Okay.
minutes, but just kind of ignored it as to like a weird house noise. And
Yeah.
then screws fell out of the ceiling in front of him.
Oh shit. What the fuck?
And then the last known reported thing was in the 2000s, and it was they were doing like a behind the scenes tour, so you would go into like basements and stuff that normally were not open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
And they hired on extra staff to like plan, clean for, and host this event. And so the extra staff was coming in, and they kept going back to the general contractor or whoever was in charge of this event
Mm-hmm.
and being like, hey, like we got this, and this done, but this guy was just standing there the whole time. It was just this guy that wasn't doing his job. And they all described him as having on overalls, a white hat, a wheelbarrow in front of him, and a mustache. And all the descriptions matched that.
Whoa,
and
what the hell?
and the guy was like, what are you talking about, to the point where he was like getting annoyed, like who is like looking through the house, like who is here
Yeah.
and why is he just standing around. And when they finished cleaning out the basement with the extra staff, they found a picture of him in the basement.
Oh, that's crazy. Like some
Yeah,
fucking that's like some the fuck is the movie? The Shining shit, man.
yeah, right, forever with the house.
Yeah, for
So
real.
those are the hauntings, those are the stories, the ghost stories, the spooky Winchester stories. Hit me with all of your counterpoints.
Yeah, I mean, so I already talked about the seances. I really do think that like the guilt over Winchester firearms, like I think that that is like my biggest opposing point that I'm gonna make here, because at this point in the centuries, like
Mhm.
it was a huge fucking company on the
Yeah.
rise still, and like I am sorry. I do not think we had social activism like we do now in the 2000s, back in the fucking 1880s and 1900s. Like nobody was giving two fucks about who they were shooting with their guns. I'm going to be so for real. I
I don't
really
think they
don't
gave a
think
fuck
so.
about who they were shooting. I think it was more the fact that it was so deadly compared to the other things that had existed before it.
I I don't know. Like, I really don't think she would have felt like I feel like because of like the time period and like having so much money from it and it's still being so profitable. Like, so what? Like, it was, you might have been an arms dealer essentially, but you're not you married into the family. How is it your responsibility? Like, how do you care? You're just reaping the benefits. Like, you're literally doing nothing.
I
Why do
don't
you have
know
guilt
so
over that?
much that she felt guilty as that it was laid on her. Like, well, your husband and his dad made this, and so many people died because of it. So that's why they're all dying, and you're next. Good luck.
I I
And
don't
also,
know.
like, a not, again, I don't care. But, I mean, just think about all of them die. You're next. And someone's like, your family specifically that you chose, changed the face of warfare and have
Yeah.
created something that will kill more soldiers per second than you could have done in 17 reloads. Like, when someone puts it like that, you're like, oh, maybe I am a little bit fucked. Maybe they are coming for me.
I don't know. Like, it was still an era of cowboys. Like, they literally, that didn't end until like either like the late 1910s or early
Cowboys who could shoot
1920s.
once.
No, they could fuck, that was the lever action rifles and repeaters, and fucking all of the Winchester firearms were made for
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's
expanding the
what
West and stuff like that.
they made it, and it was new. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was a new thing to be able to shoot that many times without reloading.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
that
that's
was the breakthrough that people were like, whoa, you've changed the game.
that's exactly what I was gonna say though, is like I feel like because of its wide success, like I really don't think she would have seen it in such a negative way or like had any type of guilt. Like I really just can't. I like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, it doesn't
Again,
compute.
I don't know that she had guilt about the people that died from the rifles. I think some salty person who, if even existed, was like, your rifle killed my family. I'm gonna make you pay and feel like your life's in danger. I think it was more of her being like, oh man, my shit's been cursed. I gotta take care of me. Like, I don't think it was her being like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about the lives I've cost.
I don't know. Um, I just feel like that, like being like what they think is like the reason that she built the house, like that just doesn't it still doesn't make sense to me, because like why would you feel so guilty over that and have that like lingering on your conscience, like I need to build these for these ghosts, like really, like be so for real, because
I don't
even
think it
like
was on her
the
conscience. I think she just didn't want to die because everyone she knew was dying.
I don't know. To talk about the labyrinth construction, to say that she did it to confuse spirits from harming her, um it's I feel like it's just because she was like not all there, to be honest, and I think she just kind of like lost her mind like after everybody died, and like she was obsessed with architecture. She did it with her husband, they built a house together, like,
Yeah.
but she never got to fucking live in it because he fucking died. So I
Yeah.
think she just like kind of lost her shit. But I think that like all of that really just confirms her like poor state of mind, like with the and also like a lot of it, like some doors and windows that open to nothing were a result of the earthquake and severe damage that happened to the house, and them rebuilding it to like make it an actual tourist attraction. So the small steps that everybody finds super scary were actually built because of her declining health. The
Yeah.
trap doors were built in a greenhouse room where excess water could run and be piped out to an outdoor garden.
Yep.
And after the damage from the earthquake, like although it was technically still undergoing construction until she died, like there wasn't any like major additions done to the house post 1910 after like the earthquake and stuff,
Yeah.
because like she did move out, and she didn't even like it was like small maintenance items, like you said, like repaint the room or like something like that, like
Yeah.
bullshit, like there was no actual new additions. Something that I found that I thought you were going to mention was a lot of people claim that she like held spiritual parties for ghosts and stuff like that, and that in her home she had like lavish gold dishes that she served them on, and that she kept them in a safe. But that upon her death, when the safe was open, no gold plates were found because they were so expensive. That's where she kept them. Only personal mementos, and this was really sad to me, a lock of her dead baby's hair.
Oh my God. That's so sad.
Yeah, and then there was something else. Fuck.
So
Where
I'm
is it?
gonna rebuttal your rebuttal.
Okay.
Um, so this is a skeptic's point of view, but rebuking what you're saying still.
Okay.
Um, there was like tons of reports that she was not mentally unstable at all. That she was very
Oh,
active minded and like a
yeah.
good person, like very neighborly, a Red Cross donor, a conservationist who would hold parties so that she could help save the planet, and was like very all there. Like I also
Yeah.
have that she was like obsessed with being architecture, and she wanted to be an architect, but because she was a woman, she was just a little bit angry.
Yeah.
So she used the house and her space that she had anyways as a plaything to like just mess around with architecture and see what worked. And if she didn't like it, she tore it down and tried something new.
Yeah. There was which I think is like that, like could definitely be part of it, because there was something that I really thought was interesting, which was that someone said that she could like manage a portfolio better than she could fucking like do architecture, because she was like making fantastic money after everything happened. Like she invested
Yeah.
well, and like oh, that's what I wanted to talk about, the fucking earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
People, like you said that she got stuck in there, that
Mm-hmm.
is not confirmed at all. Like people actually think that she was like in a different fucking house in California, in I think Alderton,
I
and that
have
she
a
was like in a different like location entirely and was not there when the earthquake occurred.
I have a different art. So I have a billion points of view, I think, just
Yeah.
like you do, that says that she did get stuck in a room, not during the earthquake, but she got stuck in a room, and she never wanted it to happen again
Mm-hmm.
because the staff couldn't hear her. So that's why
Oh,
she built one of the weird hallway, like secret passages, was
I
so that she
see.
never got stuck there again.
Yeah. Yeah, so let me see. There is no evidence that she was ever trapped there. Atherton, she had a lot of other houses because she was so well off. And I found the
Yeah.
quote I was looking for. So the person, like the author who I've been referencing, claims she was far more successful constructing an investment portfolio than a mansion. um I also wanted to say like these few points about what happened with the fucking earthquake because this shit was crazy. The
Mhm.
7-story tower and most of the chimneys collapsed. One entire wing was destroyed along with the
Yep.
third and fourth floor story additions. She had the rubble removed, but had little done to the property after the earthquake. It left doors that opened to nothing, balconies that used to exist, pipes that were protruding from what were once window boxes, and staircases that led to upper floors, ending suddenly. But what really fucking blew me was before they even redid it, 9 months after she died in 2022 was the first fucking tourist tour of the house. 9 months after she died is when there was the first tourist
Yeah,
attraction.
they were like ready to go.
Yeah, they work so fast. They
They're
work
like, this
so
shit's
fast.
so weird. Let's get this going. I do think that a lot of those things can be explained by the earthquake, but
Yeah.
there are literally some doors that have like bricked over, nicely painted like brick walls in front of them. Like that
Uh,
doesn't if
no,
they're
that's
sealing
weird.
shit off from the weather because like okay, this got destroyed, let's seal it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to sit there and paint it and put decorations on it. They're going to seal
Yeah.
it off and move on. So like there are a lot that can be explained. Like so maybe some of the staircases were up to something else, got destroyed, and they put a wall there. They're like, all right, this fuck this one. Like that makes sense to a lot of
Yeah.
them. But there's some that like I was watching a little video with you can only take photos in the house, so there's no
Mm-hmm.
like walkthrough. But
Yeah.
with photos, and I'm like, that's decorated. Like there is design on that. Like that's not
Yeah.
something they put up after the earthquake. Like that's just weird. So I think there
Yeah.
was a combination of like, I can do whatever I want in here. Maybe there was some like weird, spooky shit, and maybe she was just weird. I don't know.
I
And
think she
then,
was like low key, like weird and smart and crazy, but not in a crazy, like I'm insane and losing my mind way. Just like I might have a mildly unhealthy coping mechanism kind of way.
well, I just feel like if we're going the architect route, right, you have 24,000 square feet to play with.
Yeah, just fuck
It's
around,
your
right?
toy. You make so much money a day that you could potentially think out any architectural idea you've ever had and just play with it and see if it
Yep.
works in a room.
Yes.
So it could be that. It could be that she was avoiding ghosts. It could be that she was just losing her marbles and couldn't cope. I literally don't have a choice of what I think happened because none of it makes sense.
No, yeah. And I mean, even like on the official Winchester like mystery house like history page,
Mm-hmm.
is it literally says it's a mystery. What remained is indeed a mystery. Even before her passing, rumors of her mystery house being built by an eccentric and wealthy woman swirled. Was she entrusted to build this home by a psychic? Was she haunted by the ghosts of those felled by the gun that won the West? Did construction truly never stop? What motivated a well-educated socialite to cut herself off from the rest of the world and focus almost solely on building the world's most beautiful yet bizarre mansion? Who knows? Like, because it's fucking crazy.
I just don't understand how there was 40 plus workers almost every day for almost 40 years and no one has a story.
Yeah,
How does that happen?
yeah.
That's
It's
weird to me.
bizarre. It's
That's where I
bizarre.
could like lean towards the creepy shit because I'm like, what do you mean no one has a story of what she was really like? What do you mean there's no
Yeah.
confirmation? She was with someone constantly because they all lived
Yeah.
in the house. What are you talking about? How does that just disappear?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, how do we just lose all of that, like those records, unless there were none kept?
Or like
Um,
family of the workers, like
yeah, like
they
anything.
nobody's got stories. I don't know.
Um,
That's where it gets like really iffy to me. I'll
yeah.
read a couple of the other version, the explainable version things.
Okay.
So her declining health and arthritis was actually a doctor's order to
Oh, to
move
move to the west.
move
Yeah.
west in a warmer climate. So that explains her
Mm.
like random up and move. Oh, she had a thing where she would basically just plan daily goals and be like, we're going to finish this today. And she would work with them and just check them off. And then the next day, maybe she would destroy some of those and try again.
That's so
So
funny.
it was all planned. It wasn't like this will throw somebody off. It was like, we're going to try this today.
Yeah. So at least she was methodical.
Yeah. And she just straight up ripped out rooms that she like walked in and was like, this doesn't live up to what I thought. Bye. Get rid of all of it. I
Yeah.
have also the trapdoors were waterways for her plants because they all led back to the green room, which had
Okay.
innovative paneled floor that was underneath metal, so you could take out the wood so there's no water damage. And
Oh,
he
so
didn't
that's
plan.
actually super intelligent and ahead of her time. Like, and she
Yeah.
was like, especially with the elevators in the house and the shower.
Yeah. And then it says that she had a habit of collecting stained glass because she was so in love with it. So much so that
Mhm.
there are many Tiffany pieces that are stained glass throughout the house. And that's like a big explanation for why there were so many weird windows, because she just wanted to put them up and display them somewhere.
Yeah. Because there's like a lot of stained glass like all over the place. Like I looked at a lot of the windows of this house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then there's I guess stories which we also don't have names of people who were absolutely outraged at the ghost stories because it tainted her reputation and she was such a nice person in the
Mm-hmm.
community and they made her seem crazy. So, um that's all I really have for that you didn't mention.
So I'm actually gonna like piggyback kind of off of like people in the community kind of thinking that the ghost stories and stuff like that and like made her like look bad because um like her health issues got way worse after 1900, like after the turn of the century, and she became like much more private and reclusive. And I feel like it says this reluctance to appear in public or to socialize with her peers gave her a mysterious reputation, feeding the gossip in the community and local newspapers, which fueled the rumor that she was superstitious. However, Winchester's companion of many years, and here's one of the first times we have a full fucking name drop, Miss
What?
Henrietta Severs, states Winchester had no superstitious beliefs at all. Winchester's relatives, employees, and gardeners never made claims that she was superstitious, guilt ridden, or crazed, and she named all of them as beneficiaries in her will.
I did see that. She put all of the workers. So she
Mm-hmm.
double paid. She had them on double salary of any other contractors.
Yep.
Had them on double salary, had them live in with her, and then also included all of her close ones in the
In the
will that
will.
I think got split like 8 ways or something like that. Maybe more. Maybe 13, 13 probably.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and then her niece. And they all split
Yeah.
it and sold the house together, which is incredible. Can you imagine a chunk, even an eighth
Of
of
that.
a 25,000 square foot property in California?
The current price is $71 million.
Honestly, that seems low
I
for this
agree.
like enigma of
I'm
history.
sorry. That's like if you took it from 19 like when it was bought to now. Like she put 5 million
Oh,
in or something like that, right?
okay,
I think
okay.
it was worth 5 million when she like finished it. Um it's worth like 73 with that construction or whatever, like based on that amount. Like that's how much it would be worth. So
That's
that was
even
wild to me. Like it's so crazy.
it is okay. So Hannah brought it up as one of her favorite cases. And I was like, okay, cool. I just assumed it was like, I don't know, gory, haunted, intense.
Yeah.
And then you messaged me and you're like, nothing ever happened. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I like briefly did a like Google search and it was
Yeah.
like the Winchester Mansion, the most famous haunted thing in America. And I was like, Carl, it says it right here. Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And then I like went in and did quote unquote research of my own. And I was like, not that much really happened. Like,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was like,
Exactly. Um
I literally have no idea what to believe.
I think it's like way more fascinating, like all of the shit that this spawned, because it's the fucking origin for the Tale of the Winchester House was inspiration for the Haunted Mansion Disney ride, the first of which opened in 1969 in California. The story in the 2001 miniseries Rose Red, created by Stephen King, was
Huh.
inspired by the lore surrounding Sarah Winchester and the Winchester Mansion House. Fucking Mythbusters went there, Ghost Adventurers, there's like a fucking 24-minute film about her. There's several movies. It's crazy. Fucking Helen Mirren played her in a 2017 movie. Hello? Like what?
So, in theory, this lady had everyone around her die, moved away to get away from all of it and take care of her health, liked architecture and played around with it for a bit, and then became one of the most well-known names and haunted stories in the world,
Yeah.
but
She's probably
potentially had done absolutely nothing.
nothing. Yeah. Because I like actually was curious. I read like the plot synopsis of the movie that came out with Helen Mirren. Nowhere fucking near anything close to resembling what the fuck we just discussed. Like it talks about like the movie is about her fucking nephew gets fucking possessed and like all this other crazy shit. Like it's still about the guns and like her going there, but like then one of the ghosts like possesses her nephew and like people die. I'm like, hello, like what is this? And it says like,
So it's just like a prompt. It's like a little prompt, like,
yes,
hey, this weird house, run
go,
wild with a
go,
story.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Um, because it even says like that apparently like in the movie, like when it's done, it's like based on a true story. And then it says, despite that, much of the stories in the movie are disputed in, oh, here's the full name, Mary Jo Ignofo's book, Captive of the Labyrinth. And it's like, I think the subtitle is a Sarah Winchester something story. Captive of the Labyrinth, Sarah L. Winchester, heiress to the rifle fortune.
Huh.
Little
I
fucking
just
long-winded for me for a title, but
no, make it twice as long. Make it a fucking Fall Out Boy Panic at the Disco song title.
no, literally an album.
I just, true or not, let's just talk about 24,000 square feet of things
Yeah.
that we've never seen before, which
It's
on its
crazy.
own is a marvel.
Yeah, the house is like, I'm not like, there's no like, in no way am I denying that the house isn't weird as shit. It's weird as fuck for sure. Like
Yeah.
there's no, I feel like you'd have to be stupid to deny that. But like I think it's more so like the reasoning behind like the house being weird. I really think it could just be chalked up to the fact that she was like, I have all this money and some minor architectural prowess and people who are working double time for me. Do what I want. I am God and you are going to
Yeah.
follow my whims.
Yeah, because why not? Because what else are you gonna
Yes.
do? You don't have to work.
Yeah, you have nothing to do.
Why not? I don't know. Maybe there was some weird shit. I mean, her
I mean, don't get me
family all
wrong.
died aggressively and early, except for maybe the dad. I don't know about the dad.
I don't want to go visit. Like I can talk all this shit, but like you look at some of the pictures and it looks really fucking weird in there. So I'm good. Like I don't want to go.
Yeah. I see all this stuff about like how it's like a gorgeous house, and I'm looking at it and I'm
Fuck
like, I get
no.
the ick. I get the ick just
Yes.
looking at it. Maybe there's something to be said. Maybe it wasn't haunted, and all of this like weird juju that we put into the story has made it haunted.
haunted. Yeah. Because you know what? Looking at it from the outside, I'm like, hello, what am I fucking looking at? Like, why does this look like it
Like a
reminds
resort?
me, yeah, it reminds me of the fucking like it's giving H.H. Holmes's like murder house, but
Wait,
for
that
but
is some
for
weird shit.
but for fucking just like not but for nothing. Like it doesn't nothing happened. Like it's
Yeah.
just like it's just
Yeah.
that but bigger.
I was actually gonna bring up. I'm like, maybe we should do H.H. Holmes, the murder house, because there are some conclusions
Actual
to that
murders.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, weird. I guess after everything, it is interesting because it's so unknown.
Yeah.
How do you have that much land with a person that knows that many people and is so well known and no facts?
Yeah, so actually like the fact stuff is like so like that's what I feel like that's such something that makes this so controversial. So the house is now owned and operated by, and this makes me mad, Winchester Mystery House LLC. Go fuck yourself.
That makes sense.
And it represents the descendants of whoever the fuck wound up owning it. But
it was some
like
of the family of some of the
yeah.
workers.
Okay. One guy lamented, I feel so torn because I have to tell people untruths. Every time I go through the house and have to talk about 13s and other kooky things, my heart breaks a little for Sarah. I have to bite my tongue every time I hear a guest say, what a nutcase. Because like
oh no,
but they're required to follow a script emphasizing fabrications and inaccuracies. Because obviously like they're making money. Like what the fuck? Like
yeah.
it's a mystery house. Like what else are you supposed to do?
At
like,
this point, it is just an attraction.
yeah, it really
Like
is.
it is nothing else except for an attraction. They made an architectural marvel into like a kid's plaything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and what did you expect when some guy in the 1970s who was a fucking Disneyland and Frontier Village employee became the GM? Come on now.
Oh,
what did you expect?
man.
Because they added a whole ass Winchester rifle museum to the fucking property too. So you could see that too while you tour the crazy house, which I'm sure she'd probably be like, why the fuck did you do that?
She's like, I was literally trying to separate my life. If
Yeah.
we could if we could
Like,
please not throw our
why
boundaries.
did you include this? Don't y'all already have like corporate offices that you could do this at?
If anything, someone should conduct a seance not at the house, just to talk to her, to see
Yeah.
her be like, seance room, like I changed in there. Like, what do you mean? Like,
what do you mean? What do you
what are
mean?
you talking about? She's like, I never even thought about 13. It just fit.
Oh, I just like the third. I just like the number, man. Like,
Yeah.
what's so wrong with that?
I don't know.
Damn.
What do you think, listener? What happened? Is it creepy ghost
Yeah.
stuff? Is it a crazy morning lady? Is it a very stable lady who just had too much money to play with? What are we thinking here?
What do you think, listeners? Yeah, because I mean, I had never heard of this until fucking a long time ago when Chanel and I decided that we were going to do this episode topic. Definitely not yesterday. Anyway,
Whoops.
but I like had the fact that this is like so huge. Supposedly, I feel like this is a fact that I have found in like on numerous like I've seen a lot while I was researching this. Supposedly, it houses over 1,000 ghosts, and like for all
Wait,
that for
wait, wait,
that's like one of the things that I read. Like for it to be
wait.
considered like America's most haunted house and houses over 1,000 ghosts. Like hello, wasn't the point to keep them out or like confused?
I get
I don't.
I don't know. I feel like there's some blurred lines there because the tagline for the haunted mansion, Disney's haunted mansion, is there's 990 ghosts, but there's always room for one more. So to
Okay.
say like it's haunted by 1,000 ghosts, I'm like, that feels like blurred lines.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
was messing there.
It was the fucking guy in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean it's definitely crazy. Let us know what you guys think. Do you think that the Winchester Mystery House is haunted? Like Chanel said, like so many options. What do you think? Do you think we're disrespecting Sarah Winchester by having them fucking constantly view her house and like
Are
think that
we
she's a
disrespecting
nutcase?
her by talking about it again? Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Sorry,
But
Sally.
she's fine. I think she lived comfortably. And 83, can't turn your nose up at that back in the day. I mean, that's a pretty
Yeah,
fucking sublime age to live to at that time period, to be
it is
honest.
pretty good. It's longer than
Oh,
Voldemort lived, and he split his soul 7 times to try it.
yeah. Yes, it's actually 10 years more. That's embarrassing for someone who wanted to live forever. What a
Yep.
joke.
Yep.
Good Lord. Yeah, well, thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed. I think this is definitely a good one, very controversial, maybe not as like actual oopy spoopy, but maybe just like a brain teaser, a
Something to
brain
think
thinker,
about.
something to give your mind a little nip twist,
This isn't a horror episode, it's a psychological thriller.
Yeah, my favorite. Just borders on horror, but actually isn't.
Yeah, sums it up pretty good.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat at Rated E Pod. Make sure to check out our girl Yasmin Abed Art on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok under the tagline that I just gave you. She has fantastic art. I'm sure she just had a show this past weekend. She probably still has stuff up
Did
for
you say
sale.
she has fantastic art? I'm sure. Like you did not
Oh,
know
no, she
factually.
has fantastic art, period. And then I meant to say like I'm sure she still has
You're like,
like
I'm
stuff
sure she
available.
does. I don't
No,
know.
I'm 100% sure that she has good art. I just bought stuff from her. Like I'm very certain of that. Very, very sure. No, I was gonna say I got my thoughts mixed up. I was gonna say I'm sure she has like another show coming up, but I know she doesn't. She just had one last weekend. Instead, I was gonna say I'm sure she has stuff still available to purchase for Halloween, like or spooky season or whatever. I'm sure she still has stuff available. So please go give her as much money as you can. It's going towards a good cause. Her little doggy tore her ACL. So please buy anything you can off of her. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that her surgery was today, and I'm sending all of my love, and I hope you guys are
Me
sending
too.
love too.
Me too. Listeners, you need to be sending love as well, unless you're not a real Rated E listener. Fake.
Fake fan.
Fake fan. Thank you all so much for listening. Make sure to have a fucking awesome day and have a great Halloween weekend, because this is Halloween weekend.
Weekend.
And get crunk with it for sure. Get a little crazy, get a little litty pie, do whatever, do it up. As y'all know, I will not be getting turned because my birthday is on a fucking Tuesday, and that's like horrible. So can't wait for that. Gonna be a movie where I don't do anything, but the weekend will be fun.
I'm gonna be playing board games all weekend and not doing anything, so I'm
Nice.
excited.
Sounds like a good time too.
All right.
Well, we'll catch y'all on the flippity floppity flop. Boy, love ya.
Floopy flops. Love you. Bye.
Bye.